Hello to everyone who's watching this video. My name is Josiah Brown, and this is my returning Head Life Leader application video, making sure I said that right. So I was asked to answer two questions, and that's what I'm going to try to do for you today. The first question is, what is the gospel? Glad you asked, person who wrote the question. The gospel, the word gospel, can have multiple meanings. It's commonly called the good news, and I say quotations not because it's cheesy, but because that's what it's actually usually referred to as. But gospel usually means good news. But in the Bible we have the four gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and these are all good news accounts of Jesus' life while he lived on earth. So whenever I come to answer that question, that's kind of what I would say is, it's not only just the phrase good news, but it's used to refer to the good news that we have as people, and especially as Christians, in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Not only the works that he did on earth, but the fact that he was a sacrifice and atonement for our sins. And the second question is, what does it look like to be a disciple in my own life? It said your, but I'm going to say my, because that makes more sense. So disciple and discipline have the same root, so that's kind of an element that I draw in, is that being a disciple of Christ does have a discipline aspect. So there are times where there are things that I have to refuse or have to lay down in order to continue my active pursuit of Christ. Now, if I pick up those things or join those things, that does not mean that I'm abandoning Christianity by any means, but that my pursuit of Christ has been altered or changed, and I'll need to get back into it. There are things that I've experienced that I've had to change, or I feel like I've had to react a certain way as a disciple of Christ would. Not that I've wished to react a different way, but that I've considered before reacting. And another aspect, I think, of being a disciple in my own life, it's not a one-time thing. If you ask people, what's a discipline that you're a part of, or some kind of other service maybe that you are disciplined in, it's something that they have to continually practice. They have to be constantly doing it, and I think the same goes for Christianity. It's not a one-and-done deal. When it comes to being a disciple of Christ, being a follower of Christ, you can be a Christian pretty quickly, pretty simply. But to be a disciple of Christ is to actively pursue and follow him, much like the disciples did when he was on earth. So no matter where he goes, no matter where he calls, I'm trying to open myself up and be more willing and open to what he says. So those are my quick answers to the questions that were asked for being a life leader. And I hope that you will consider me for the 2019-2020 year. Thank you.